Howdy, folks. How's everybody doing out there? All right, let's see what we got here. Just going to do a little bit of creating cables, soldering, the usual. Let's see here. All right, copy. One for Al. All right. Alrighty, how's it going, guys? I see got a couple people out there. I'm just getting ahead, doing some wiring, the usual. Let's see what we got here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and these. Soldering a bunch of power connectors together, one for each box, and I might as well stock up on the because I'm going out of town in a little while, as usual. So I want to make sure I have more than enough in stock so my guys can work on this. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 23. 23. Okay. All right. What's everybody up to out in the YouTube land today? Hopefully I sent some invites. Hopefully someone will jump on and start up a conversation. If anybody wants to join me live here, by all means, let me know. I'll send you a link. And we can chat about nothing or something. Anybody out there? Let's see. What's so looking forward to my next trip up. Relax a little while. Oh shoot, I didn't check my mail today, and been very laid back when it comes to the mail, and I know I have some how's it going, Steven? How's everything? I gotta check my mail. I know I have some stuff going out that people are responding to, so I want to make sure that lately I've been in my older age, whatever, not old age, but older than young age. I've been checking mail much less than before. Much less often. This is my. For those of you watching, the thing to put this. I found it. I told you guys that I didn't know where it was. Well, I found it. So this is my my DuPont connector thingy. So you just simply put the wire in, and the beautiful thing about this is you squeeze, you let go, and that thing is a solid connection. It's a lot easier than the manual crimping I was doing, I'll tell you that much. And they've got some really fancy ones now that I got to go get that tool that puts on little crimp. I don't know what it's called. Little terminal connectors. Let's see. Your mail is in a big pile. Who knows what's in it? I hear you. I've gotten really good over the years recently, because I used to have somewhere in the neighborhood of there was a while where I was networking, and I was in charge of 1,200 businesses that we were part of one big networking group. And for a while, and I was the only tech support person for them. It's not to get into any details, but basically in Miami, it was part of a huge organization, category-specific referral organization. There were 1,200 businesses, and each of their owners had an account. And, well, I had to deal with a lot of bureaucracy and red tape aside from running my own business. But I got exposure, so my business increased because, everybody wanted to be my friend because I basically had all the power behind the computer and stuff. So it was a good time. But at the same time, I spent a lot less time on my business. And then the Molinex tool, yes, thank you. That for yeah, it's really cool. It's it puts on these connectors. Let me see if I could show you guys. No light there. Well, it puts on these connectors, which is basically it's a round tube-like when it starts out, and then the thing just crimps it from four sides, so it turns into a crimped square or a crimped semi half moon. Well, anyway, back to the emails. I was part of that large organization, and I would receive, between my regular email, my personal email, and junk email, probably 2,000 to 3,000 daily. And I'd have to sift through a bunch of them, and I'd have to answer about 300 or so daily, which took up so much time. After a while, they weren't paying me enough. I mean, granted, I was, they say, "Oh yeah, but you're getting," the owner would say, "Oh, but you're getting a lot of exposure." Yeah, what good is exposure if I'm sacrificing my time and then I'm not able to take care of these people? That's more for people that have a very, very, very small business and they don't make much money and they like attention. You know, in that case, that would work out well for them because they'll have lots of attention. And but at the time, my business was, well, it was growing, and I didn't have time to put into working for other people while I'm trying to build my own business years ago. So after I left that and concentrated on my own business, and then my business started to grow considerably because now not only did I had the contacts, but I had the time. Well, after that, I started practicing things like uh, I really got serious about addition. There were quite a few lawyers and quite a few realtors and quite a few business people, and they all like to put you on a list. And I don't mind answering questions or taking on clients or even getting information about them. But the flyers, I don't need the weekly or the daily or even the monthly um, updates on their business. I don't need sales type. I don't need junk mail. So I got to a point where right now I'm probably answering 5 emails a day, tops 5. So I can go a week and well, the point is I tend to I used to check my email on a regular basis. And I mean, by the time I was finished answering some emails, more had come in. So it was a constant thing. And I got, and then after I left, I was checking it 2 or 3 times daily. Now, maybe day, 1 day a week. I'm sorry, 1 day once a day. That's somewhat. Sometimes once every 2 days, but most of the time, once a day is what I check it. And let me snip all of these to the right length in one blow, so I don't have to go back. There we go. There's only 2 left. So yeah, so that's my story with the emails. And I mean, there's a lot of people that still deal with that mess. I learned in life, thank God I learned early in life, that time is the greatest asset. There we go. Look at that. See? I pushed all the these rubber things, the insulators, to the end. It's only just 1 or 2 I have to fix here. There we go. So I got all my cables. So yeah, time is the biggest asset for me, or liability, or whichever way you want to look at it. Bottom line is, time is the biggest inventory item. And if you guys haven't learned that yet, you will. Right now, you feel like you have all the time in the world. Many people do. And, wait till you hit, for those of you above 50, and there are a few of us, all of a sudden, you start to view time considerably differently. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23. Now let's work on the white ones. See how many of these we can get done. These are already here. I need another batch. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 8, so I need another 15. Give me a sec. Oh. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 9 and 9 is 18. I need 15. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. All right. Just turned 68 on the 9th. Well, congratulations. I hear you. 68's that's a respectable age. As long as you stay young, as it were, right? Okay, where did my... Ah, there they are. $68. Yeah. I gotta tell you, I think back to George Burns' song. For those of you who remember George Burns, and I remember him quite fondly. I wish I were 18 again. With his little raspy voice. Hey, gotta give it to him. The man didn't have a voice, but he could sing. Contradiction. Yeah. George Burns. I remember the old George Burns show. I always got a kick out of the fact that Ronald Reagan was on George Burns' program, and a young Ronald Reagan. You know, Gracie Allen was just, I'm sorry. She died way too soon, way too early. She was a treasure. A national treasure, I would say. Jack Benny's another one. They don't make them like that. They just don't. Yep. I still watch it on MeTV. Gotta love those old shows. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Some more of these. I'm stripping them all now, and then I'll crimp all the connectors, and then I'll put them away and do some soldering of connectors. The usual. Ever since it's funny. Ever since Dave Gatton, well, I don't know. I want to say blackballed me, but Ever since he blocked me from all his things, and I still don't know the reason why. I've actually sold more units when you have to, because because I had the parts, because I had bought them to sell units, hobby boxes to help Dave out. Oh well. But through it all, the thing that hurts the most is, you lose a friend. And I still don't know how or why. Ever heard anything why the coffee session? No, I mean, Stephen, I basically, look, I know that Rocky passed away. So I know he was going through some tough times. Because that dog was, I mean, it was his, he's very close to that dog. I was, when I went to visit him, he's a sweetheart, and he was getting old in years, and that dog is wonderful. Well, but other than that, I have no idea. That last time I talked to, the Rocky was after. But for all I know, he could have been sick. He could have been sick well before, or something like that. I don't know what was going on with Dave. It's I respect his he doesn't want me around, so I respect that, and I haven't watched the show because I'm afraid that for one thing, I mean, I can get on with 100 other accounts I have. That's not a big deal. But frankly, I respect his privacy. I respect his wishes. If he doesn't want me to be anywhere near him, that's his call. I mean, I last time I sent a text to him, he basically said he didn't want to talk to me, and so I am. That's the last communication I had with him. I asked him if he was doing all right. He goes, "Yeah, he just doesn't feel like talking to me much these days." And I've deleted all the conversations, so I don't even remember what was said. I was a little upset. Last thing I remember telling him was, "Hey, what's going on? Why are you promoting this guy?" And he goes, "I'm not doing anything I wouldn't do for you." And I said, "Okay, I understand. I just thought we were friends, and you might, be." And I didn't tell him that the main reason why I was selling hobby boxes was to promote Gattens. And he said, he basically said at that point that I was being selfish. And that's the last that I didn't understand. But, my conspiracy, a couple of my friends said, "Oh, that's probably because he's he doesn't want to tell you that he's making them on his own. And I go, no, that's not true. I mean, well, I don't know if it's true or not, but I doubt it's true. But I don't really know Dave because he wears his heart close to his vest. I mean, you know, political? No, no, no. Because let's put it this way: I'm a, and he is a diehard Republican as I am, and up until a certain president of mine said, I was quite the follower up until the point where he didn't admit, the president didn't admit that he lost. At that point, that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. But that happened way after David, blackballed me or whatever, and I don't know why. I don't know why he blocked me from his YouTube. For all I know, he may have blocked me for a little while and then put me back on. But I'm the kind of person. Look, you blackballed me once, and I'm not going back on your channel. That's it. That's the last I've seen of his channel. So, I mean, you're asking me if I know about the sessions. The last session I was on, when he was still having them, was when I said something, or rather I was just saying hello to people, and I was prevented from saying hello to people. So at that point, and I understand. I got my buddy Russ. It's so funny. He was telling me the other day he was on his channel, and instead of being Rusty Nails, he was on as Russ Meadows, and he was blocked. And Dave and Russ asked Dave, "What the hell's going on? I mean, do we have a problem?" And he said, "No, I thought you were. I thought you were. I thought it was a fake account or something like that." So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. He's getting, I mean, I understand Dave's always wanted to protect his business interests. If anything, I always tried to help him. But it is what it is. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was extremely ashamed at the actions of a certain. I mean, people show their true colors. Now, okay, I still have my political views, and I still, I'm on the same side. But like many Republicans, it's just there's one person that I will not want back in that seat ever again. To tell you the truth, I wanted Rubio before him, so it is what it is. Rubio's now beginning to be a little quirky. It's difficult because I don't want a politician in that politician spot. But at the same time, you kind of have to have one, because if not, nothing will get done. I don't know what to tell you. And here's the biggest problem, Stephen. Hey, Paul, how's it going? The biggest problem, and I'm not going to get into politics, but the biggest problem in my view of politics in general is that we only have a two-party system, and we're forced, because I don't agree with either side. There are a lot of things I don't agree with either side. I don't agree with well, I'm not going to get started, but basically, I am not 100% on either side. And that's the troubling part. That's truly the troubling part, that they don't offer us any other options, but the lesser of two evils. But it is what it is. So in the meantime, I just vote one way. Sometimes I vote the other way, very, very rarely, because that's another thing. It's like capitalism. Politics seems to work its way out. There's I'm on the right side. There are people on like you, Stephen, are on the left side, and you'll always vote one way, usually. Then there are the swing voters who continue moving the pendulum back and forth, and and then so somewhere somehow we end up with the middle. Well, I'd like to say that, but most of the time we end up with the worst of both worlds. Well. And I really don't see this time the presidency is an issue, but I don't see the president as the problem. I see the Congress as a problem. Too many cooks, man. Too many cooks. Go local or go home. But what are you going to do? Then you got other problems. So, yeah. So I don't know what happened with. Yeah, I hear you, Steven. I enjoyed chatting on Dave's shows. I don't know. Basically, I was going to take a month before I started my shows, and Dave just spur of the moment said, "Listen, are you ready for next week? Because I'm ditching any ditch the shows." Then I started doing them, doing my shows, and it was like not 2 weeks later. That was when I'll call it the Great Schism. And I don't know. I don't know. But it's a tough situation because here's the thing. When a couple of people, when a friendship ends, okay, it's usually not, well, sometimes it's both, but it takes two people for a friendship. So it's an and gate. This person and that person have to agree to be friends. This person or this person, that doesn't work. This person, and when neither one, that doesn't work. So that being said, holy cow, did I finish these? I guess I did. Oh no, I still got these three. So when that being said, okay, so now I thought about it quite a bit. In order to repair the friendship, as I have many times in the past with friends, one person goes over to the other person, says I'm sorry, and the friendship is fixed and stuff. There's only two problems. One, I've already said I'm sorry, and for whatever reason he won't hear anything of it. Then you have the added problem of that this is not a face to face anymore, because, well, in fact, the whole situation occurred on text. The last time I talked to him, we were actually friends, and then and I still consider him a friend, but like I said, it takes two. So on my side, I'm sorry for whatever I did, and I don't know what I did, and I've apologized. He has no reason to apologize. I don't think he does, other than, well, I mean, I guess people could argue, because there's people telling me, yeah, he has to apologize. He's the one that but I mean, he's too proud of a man. He's not going to do that because he doesn't see any reason for himself to apologize. So the bottom line is, on my end, I'd love to be friends with him again. I miss him, but I think I know him well enough to say that I doubt it'll happen. I've seen it before with him and people. When he just, you're dead to me kind of thing, and at that point, most people don't care. I'll tell you, it bothers me. On the one hand, it bothers me because I lost a friend, and I've never lost. I've lost two friends in my entire life, and the last time I lost a friend, you know, I have resolved that it is definitely due to a mental state of that other person, and it was definitely um, it was definitely not me. Well, it wasn't me this time either, and it is what it is. When you like to be liked. See, two party. Yeah, I'm not a conspiracy theorist either. It's ridiculous, all the stuff that's going on right bottom left. Yeah, that's the thing. If I can't even talk to him about it, nothing could be resolved. So, and for the most part, you know, I really, I mean, I don't watch his shows because if I did, I'm the type of person that would want to comment, and then I would want to text him, and I'd want to, and I don't want to get stupid because I've gotten stupid before in the past, where basically, I, a long time, well, some time ago, I learned my lesson because I'm the kind of person that I like. There we go. I get along with a lot of people. Very few people I don't get along with, and when I find someone that I truly get along with, I treasure that friendship. I really do. We always have our arguments. That's what adults do. You know, if I'm not going to act like a 5-year-old and say, "Oh, you hurt my feelings," I've been bothered by stuff that people have said before, and I either confront them or I say, "Hey, listen, this hurt me," and they'll either apologize or they'll say I meant it, and have a nice day. But those friends, yeah, I guess in that case I could consider them friends, but I really haven't talked to. There are some people. Okay, there are some people. Um, I'm not going to mention names, but there's one person in particular who was an extremely arrogant individual, and um, he basically, I'll just say this, he was really into DeWalt, but nobody will know who I'm talking about by that. But anyway, he was a very extremely arrogant individual, and he called me an idiot one time in front of a few other people, and so basically I called him an a-hole, and in the end, he's one of those people that I don't consider him a friend, but here's the thing. I never considered him a friend. He's not the type of person that I would ever associate with. He was part of the community and still is part of the community, and I'm part of the community, and like many of us, we just go our own separate ways. But yeah, I mean, I do still enjoy making these things. If not, I would have stopped. Because I mean, I have long since. I don't know if you know the whole story. I'm pretty sure you do, but about the time that about the time of the Great Schism, I had just finished purchasing 50 units of everything. 50, a whole hundreds of these, hundreds of connectors, hundreds of power supplies, power supply adapters, hundreds of well, basically 200 drivers, because enough for 50 boxes. So 200 drivers, 50 power supplies, and some things like these things, the 4 in each. Basically all the different parts. I have a list of parts for the JaviBox, what it takes, and I purchased enough in bulk from China, enough to make 50 boxes. At the time, I still had enough to make like maybe 5 or 10 boxes. So bottom line is, when that schism happened, I had just gotten all those parts and sold 2. And then 2 weeks later, he promoted the other person. 2 weeks after that, he took me off the Gatton site. So then there were no more. So if I didn't have all those boxes, that's the last anybody would have seen of me. I mean, of the JaviBox. Say, well, Dave's not, I'll do it for people upon request, but that's it, and anybody in the community, I'd be happy to do it. Well, with 50 boxes, the last thing that I'm going to do is get stuck with thousands of dollars of materials. I bought them so I could save money and make and possibly make a few more dollars than because I was making, basically at the time, it was taking me. I'll be flat out honest. At the time, it was taking me 20 hours to build one box. As long as I prep everything beforehand, and granted, I do have to count the hours here, but as long as I prep everything, it takes me now about 2 hours to build a box. So that's a considerable amount of time. So, the couple $100 that I would make was just not worth my time. But I'm not going to throw away thousands of dollars either. So, like a good businessman that I always have been, I basically got my guys to start looking. I told them what I was selling, told them the places to go look, and I have just finished selling my 160th box. It is on February 14th. It will be 1 year. I might, if this other deal goes through that I'm working on now, I might break 200 by the 1 year mark. Good thing, bad thing, I don't know. When Dave broke up or whatever, when Dave cut the friendship cord, I was on box number 42. And that includes one that I made for myself and one that I gave to Dave. So I've sold 4 times as many. In other words, I basically sold 3 times the amount I sold to Dave. I've already sold triple that. But I mean, I'd give them all up in a second to have the friendship back. I don't care about this. This is accomplishing 2 things. Number 1, I'm entertained, and this is very nice. I'm entertained with this, but I'd just as soon talk about. Oh, there's Rusty. Hey, Russ, we're just rehashing the old the Dave schism.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So I was saying that. Look, I'm on box about 160, but I'd easily give it all up, to have Dave back as a friend.
Yeah.
It's, I if I had to do over again, if I could rewind the clock, well, I don't know if it would make any difference. But if I had to rewind the clock, I never would have started this endeavor. So I was telling Steven and others out there listening, the main reason, there are 2 reasons. Number 1, that I continue doing this, because now I've since bought, now instead of 50, and I bought enough for 100 for the next one. So now I've got another 40 left, because they're selling like, they're, because I've got my salespeople now. It's I don't want to say it's turned into a business, because it's not a profitable business and not one that I would choose for business, but
Yeah.
Here's the second reason. The one reason is me soldering, but I could solder anything. The second reason, because I enjoy this. That's the first reason. The second reason is to keep my guys employed.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, because of the COVID thing, I mean, for those of you that know my background, I have a call center, and one of the main things that the call center services is Carnival Cruise Lines, and they basically, up until recently, they said, "Okay, we don't need the call center anymore." I mean, I'm one of a few call centers, and I'm like on the bottom of the totem pole, so they said, "I'm sorry, we're shut down, so you're shut down."
Yeah. Yeah.
So they basically had to find something else to do, and well, I could teach a monkey how to do this. So how's it going, Russ? What you been up
Oh,
to lately?
it's pretty. Everything copacetic, I guess. I'm
Yeah,
just had a little breakfast because I just woke up, and so now I got to get outside and do a little bit.
you just woke up.
Yeah, well, about 1 o'clock, something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Stayed up. We stay up all night. Me and my wife got
Oh, yeah.
weird hours,
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
and so I got up just a while ago and a couple hours ago, and I got to get outside and do a little work. If I
Work,
don't
what's
do
that?
if I don't do enough work, my wife gets mad at me.
Yeah, yep, yep,
So
yep.
I got to get out there and do some more yard cleanup. I think.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I'll be doing my fair share of yard cleanup. Andrew Haig is joining me on Sunday,
All right.
and I got a little surprise for him. I'm not going to mention anything on air,
Okay.
but yeah, Andrew's joining me on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to. He's been a fantastic help up there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like it's a lot of, well, I guess it is, it's work, it's a lot of physical labor, but
Yes,
it's
it
it's
is.
not really,
It's not really mental, but it is a lot of physical.
it's not mental, but it's a lot of physical. It's basically lifting wood and moving it
Mm-hmm.
into a pile to burn. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the bulk of it, and
Right.
uh you know but it's fun. It's entertaining. He loves doing it. Now, pretty soon, I'm going to call on him to give me a hand with the heavy duty stuff.
All right. Hold
Hey,
on now. Hold
let's
on.
put
Hold
these
on.
walls up and
Hold on.
etc.
Hold on.
There you are.
Yeah. He just came in. You gotta tone it down now.
Yep, 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 yep. He just came in. Yep, yep. I'm gonna have plenty of work. I say I'm basically, I was saying, I'm gonna have plenty of work for Andrew, and again, it's not the first time I talk about you when I'm on the air, Andrew. You are very very much in my thoughts because you have been a fantastic, and I'll say it again. Thank you very much. You have, and your family have been fantastic help throughout my clearing uh, brush phase. so so let's see if he's let's see if I can get him to quit when I start asking him to give me a hand raising walls or something. No, not that bad. I'm not going to take advantage at all. But uh, yeah, and like I always said, he's got anytime he needs me for anything, he's got pretty much a universal card
I
that
hear
I
you.
am duty bound to answer.
Yep.
So not a problem
I'm
whatsoever.
quite sure he would dearly love to have one of those Brazilian steaks.
I could probably do better than that because those Brazilian steaks are just. I got to tell you, they're good, but the main reason why I go there, obviously, is I mean, and I don't have any fear of saying this here because my benefactor doesn't watch this channel. At least I hope not. But The reason I take him and his wife there is more for the yeah, for the
Mm.
ambiance, more for the name and the reputation,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and to help him impress. I mean, his wife is impressed by it.
Yeah.
So, I know how the world works. He's
Right.
happily married. If his wife sees me showing him a lot of respect and
Mm-hmm.
treating them there, he'll probably get some when he gets home. Well,
Well, then he
that's
should thank you two times,
that's
once for
going a
the
little
steak
too
and once
far,
for the
but
other.
yeah, well, hey. But
Uh,
as far as the taste of those, it's not worth $200 a plate
yeah.
for. I don't care. I mean, first of all, how much can you eat? And
I don't think I could eat $200 worth.
no, and I could grill up a much better steak than well, or there are other places I've gone to that have been, for 40 or $50, you can get a really, really, really good, delicious steak. It doesn't have to,
Right.
you know, 200
Stephen
is
has
just.
Stephen is leaving us.
Have a wonderful
Good to
day,
see you,
Stephen.
Steve. Good to see you.
Yep, definitely good to see you, Stephen. Thanks for dropping in. But yeah, it's
Well, Andrew said Javi's local rib place up here is pretty fantastic.
let me tell you, I'm crazy about Oakwood. I'll take them there next time as well. I don't know if because they're all open.
He said it's always fun and the kids have fun playing up there.
Yeah, they're always welcome.
Yeah,
Always
he
welcome.
said when he first came in, he said, "Ha ha! I just clicked on this and you mentioned me. That's spooky."
Yeah, that is spooky.
It is. Ah.
There we go. All righty. Can't believe I did it. I have
He's,
done 25. I've 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 got enough 25. These are the ground, and I've got neutral and hot connectors for the hobby boxes. So I got for enough for 25 boxes.
all right.
Little by little, I'm trying to. I mean, well,
Mm-hmm.
I try to do this I try to do one process X number of times.
Right.
You know, like I have the two
Supplies.
um
Yeah.
the two power supplies, with the red and black for 12 volts and with the other. So now I got, 10 or 20 power supplies. I've got these connectors, the breakout, all of the different things. I've got them here. And I got a whole stash of them over at the other place. So but most of the time when they build them, they give them to me in a box and I bring them back home and stack them here. Because this is the packing facility.
You do the wiring or they do the wiring.
They do. It's I want to say it's 50-50, but it's not. I want to say it's 60-40. Not. It's more like 90-10. I mean, for every one box I do, they'll do about 9.
Okay.
So I nowadays I'm doing about 10% of them. Because I got 4 guys out there, and that's all they do. Me, I
Mm-hmm.
just take a couple hours. I'll do one, and you know,
Yeah.
like right now, what I'll do is I'll just grab one fan and 2 of these fans. And let me see. Let me not grab this one. This one. Let me grab these. All right. Yep. I want them to match. There we go. Those 2 match, and then these 2 match. All right. So I'll grab the 3 fans. I'll grab the big fan and the 2 little fans. Solder them all together. Turn on the soldering gun, and then I'll also hook them to a power supply. So that way I have one fan system. The thing that takes me longest, aside from the connectors, screwing on all the little connectors, aside from the little connections, the soldering is what takes me the longest. The power supplies, I just knocked out a whole bunch of them this morning. The fans now, I gotta twist the wires together, solder them. It's not much.
Mm-hmm.
But
All that
everything
does take
else
time. Yeah.
is put it in place and solder it in and
Mm-hmm.
test. You know, this is more time consuming. So and I'm not gonna spend. I could. Well, I got them somewhere around here, but I could get those terminal clips that
Oh
all I got to
yeah.
do is clip things. But
Right.
then I've got the box full of those damn clips. It doesn't look neat. It's not professional. I'd rather just do it this way. Rather just do it this way. And I could get away with it easy. All I got to do is put this clip to this clip to this clip, and then that's it. But I cut them off and I solder the wires because
A good solder joint is the best way to go anyway.
yeah,
You're
I don't
gonna
need
get
this
some.
thing popping
You're
on me or whatever.
right.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna get some jackass that's gonna open the box, and if you don't have them soldered, they're gonna doing poking and prodding and pulling and all that just to see what goes where.
Well,
Because some of them will do it.
I have also had them open the box, and I'll tell you what, um, I've had them open the box, and even with the solder, and this
Mm-hmm.
this happened because, well, like I said, one of the guys, and he's no longer soldering for me, but one of the guys that used the flux, I'll never forgive him for that. He, I don't know how many went out, but only one has come back.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3 or 4 went out. So amongst the 160, three of them, two now, are out there with way too much flux and solders in the panel canal. I caught them. I caught
Oh.
them all all the ones the guy did except for two. I didn't realize it because I tested it. Everything tested fine and it went out. So I'm imagining they're using it. And it's been a while because they were like they were early on, but um, if they come back, I'll just I'll
Well,
guarantee it. That's not a
right.
problem. It's my fault. I'll take care of it for them.
Well, I did say that a good solder joint
Yeah,
would be the best.
exactly.
I
It's got
didn't
to be
say an
a
over excessive amount of solder joint.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, because what happened with this guy is he basically, I mean, for those of you listening for the first time, this one guy who's putting together my CNC controllers, I test them all by the way, and it tested fine, but he was putting them together, and he used way too much flux. Well, first of all, I don't use any flux, and I've
Mm-hmm.
taught them now not to use flux. Before I gave them the option, not anymore. Not after what this happened. The flux, it laid. He dipped the whole thing in flux, even up to the insulation, and then so now, he heats it, and some of the flux, great, it does its job, and it creates a solder. But then
Mm-hmm.
there's a bunch of flux left on the copper.
Right.
Flux is acidic,
Mm-hmm.
and within a matter of all you got to do is jiggle the box just the right way, and basically you got an intermittent connection. And I ain't having that in my
Oh
world.
no, I do miss the 60/40 copper. I mean, lead tin
Oh yeah.
solder. That's my go-to.
Oh, I got it here.
I do
That's
not care for the other. The rosin is in the solder already.
Yeah. Well, that
That's
I
the way
don't
I like
mind.
it.
I don't mind rosin core solder, but
That's what I like.
there's let's see. No, I don't know if you could read it.
I can't no.
All right. Well, anyways, it says
Uh,
60 SN 60
yeah,
PB 40.
there you go.
Tin is 60 tin
Lead is 40.
and
Yep.
40 lead. So that's the
Yeah.
way to
I'm
go. That's
I'm a I'm a big fan of the rosin core. That's all I've ever used
yeah, yeah,
when I actually putting kits together and stuff.
yeah.
Now I went looking for it.
Have a good one, Steven.
Oh yeah, he's gone already. He's been
Oh,
gone.
he's gone. Oh, he's been gone. Okay, I didn't see when he left.
Yeah,
That was
he's
8 minutes ago. Yeah. Okay. Let's see
uh,
here.
yeah. I went looking for it back when you first got your soldering unit up there. You
Yeah.
were looking for the and I was hell you couldn't hardly find it on Amazon. I never saw the
Really?
60/40. No, I didn't at that point.
Oh, okay.
At that point, now they may have it now, but
Yeah, I've seen it now. I mean, I
I
buy it
can
all
get
the
it.
time.
We have a little industrial electronics supply company here in town,
Right.
and I can go there and get what I need. But they had the actual.
Mark was talking the other day. I it was so funny because speaking electronics and electrical, Mark
Mark Lindsay.
Mark Lindsay.
Okay.
He was talking about the that he was working on the electrical, and he was talking about how he was talking to Doc, who's an electrician, and he was
Mm-hmm.
talking to um, Bob Lee, who's also an electrician, and
Mm-hmm.
asking their advice and stuff, and obviously he has his own electrician. And I asked him, why didn't you? In my arrogance, I asked him, why didn't you come to me? I go, you're into electronics, not electrical. And I go, they work on electrical. And I go, I had to remind them that, okay, one, I'm studying for the journeymans.
Mm.
Uh, two, all I'm doing is memorizing that damn National Electrical Code book of 2021 or 2020 because the latest thing because I'm doing this for my house. And three, I have worked as a journeyman under electricians, for years. Yes, not
Mm-hmm.
recently, but that's why I'm brushing up. I have spoken both with Doc and with Bob at length, and
Mm-hmm.
it's gotten now to the point that there are still questions that I will be happy to ask them if I get stuck, because
Mm-hmm.
most things don't change, but there are certain answers that basically, like Doc, he's in Pennsylvania. They got the 2014 code according to Doc,
Oh boy.
and Bob hasn't worked. And when he did work, put it this way, he hasn't worked as a lineman. He was working administration, so
Mm-hmm.
he knows some of the codes. But again, they're old. All
Right.
the new stuff that has changed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to answer a question, hey, ask me. but you get a little. I get a little. I like to be the advice guy that people call on, but that's just me.
Folks, this is
Well, wait a second. Wait a second. Let me clarify that. For stuff I know, not
uh,
not. Well, yeah, yeah. Hey, what do you think of this medical advice? I have no freaking clue.
I was gonna say this is Mr. Ann Landers over here, folks. Ask dear Ann.
Yeah,
Well, it's dear
dear Ann.
Javi.
I mean, all my life, I've loved the fact that people have come to me for questions.
Mm-hmm.
I was the Google guy, Google guru before Google existed, and still am for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Still am for a lot of people.
Yeah. Let me put you down.
You
You
know,
gotta go down.
but uh, but obviously for only stuff that I know. But it's just like
Yeah.
for a while though, I got to tell you, for a while, when I was at BNI, and I think that's what I liked most about BNI, is that for a while I was that guy. I was the guy that hey Javi, who since I had 1,200 people under me in the along with the other directors, but um, people would always ask me, do you know a lawyer that can do this, or do you know this, or you can do that? I was the go-to guy for the go-to guys,
Mm-hmm.
because each one in BNI becomes a go-to guy, because they each have like 40 or 50 different professions that they're now referring on a regular basis.
Right.
So, hey, I got a guy is practically our mantra.
Mm-hmm.
And with me, it was like, since I was involved in the organization at a higher level, it's not just I got a guy from 50. It was all the chapters in Miami. So I got a guy, if I don't find it in my own chapter, I got a guy from, you know,
Mm-hmm.
let's see, how many was it? 37 different chapters. I mean, basically it was 1,200 people.
Yeah. Well, let
So
me
there
ask
was,
you a question.
yeah,
Being you are you're electrical
hopefully I can answer it. Yeah.
electrical minded.
Yes.
Uh, I've been seeing a lot of CNC equipment out there nowadays
Yeah.
that's running on three phase.
Yeah.
Okay, mine, of course, mine's not. But if I wanted to go up to a more industrial machine,
Yeah.
say, uh, a lot of that is all three phase.
Yeah,
and it seems like three-phase equipment and the units to get all that done is really expensive.
that's why you buy a
What?
VFD.
Uh-huh. So you don't need three
No, no,
phase.
no, no, no. You don't need three phase. They have. I mean, here's the issue with three phase. It depends. It depends on what your power requirements are. Okay,
Uh-huh.
if you're looking for, I mean, because power is power. So if you are looking for,
Hold on
so,
a second. She's doing that
uh,
backwards sneezing again. You might
oh,
think
that's
she's
fine.
dying. It scared the crap out of me the first time I heard it. You okay now, girlie? Yeah, she's okay now.
If you are doing something like, look, technically, the motor that I have, the spindle, is a
Mm-hmm.
three phase motor. That's all it is.
Mm.
I could attach. I could attach it with a rheostat, or
Mm-hmm.
you could call it a variable frequency drive. Basically, I could attach it with a with a controller on a three phase circuit, and that'll run nice and neat, and it'll be very very low amperage because it's on a three phase circuit, which is
Uh-huh.
natural
Okay.
to it. Now, if you got some heavy duty equipment, again, you could attach it on a three phase circuit. Now, if you're looking at, say, a big ass motor, let's say you're running a bandsaw, like a 40-inch bandsaw,
Uh-huh.
electric, not gas,
Mm-hmm.
and you need a big honking motor, something like that. Unless you're putting in a 220 100 amp service or get this monstrously ridiculous VFD. Well, I don't need 100 amps for that, but I mean, I'd have to do the calculations. But something like a 20 horse
Mm-hmm.
motor, something like what Matthew Cremona has in an electric, would be definitely, you'd be better off with three phase.
Well, see,
But for all intents and purposes, practical purposes for us, we don't need anything like heavy duty. Paul said something. I have other
yeah, I
equipment
was.
that's three phase, but you can't get that in a residential area. You'd need a rotary phase converter. Yeah.
Well,
You
see, I
get a
don't even know
rotary
what
phase
that is.
converter, and a VFD basically is almost exactly a rotary phase converter.
Well, see, one of the reasons I brought it up is because everything that I'm seeing, like for sale on the marketplace, the
Yeah.
used pieces, all that is running at 220, which I don't have in the shop. I have 110.
Right.
But the uh, the other stuff, they're showing pictures of the tags on the equipment, and they're all saying three phase. And
Yeah.
I said, God dang it! Then I saw April,
April
what's her
Wilkerson.
name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wilkerson. Saw
Uh-huh.
her video of her new shop, and she's got a 4x8 shop bot and another 4x8 something
Yeah.
side by side. They all run at three phase. She said it took
Yeah.
her almost a year to get the equipment put in
Yeah.
for that. And I said, "My God!" And she said it wasn't cheap.
No, no, it's not
It's
cheap.
not cheap. And I said, "Do you really have to have that?" Is what I was
Well,
concerning
again,
myself
it
with.
goes back to yeah, his cam master, Paul's cam master's 220 and 120 single phase. So is mine. Mine
Yeah.
is both 220, and right now my controller itself. That's the thing. Most controllers, I mean, I mean, Russ, you can get away with single phase for a controller.
Yeah.
I mean that you don't need. I mean, for a CNC, you don't need.
Right.
Hang on a second.
Don't you
Just
have
moving the
nothing to do
camera here.
today?
Yeah, I do.
You're wasting
There you go.
daylight.
Here's my shop dog.
All right, you're wasting daylight.
I told you it was coming.
Go get to work. You're wasting daylight.
Yeah, gotta go. See y'all later.
All right, catch you later. But yeah, yeah, exactly, Paul. You could always swap the motor out. You know, worst case scenario. The only time you need something like that is for commercial equipment, like April Wilkerson. I imagine Wilkerson is just look, she's young. Okay, she's young, and the young believe bigger is better. It's not buy something for your shop that's appropriate. It's, oh, the more I have, the more I can do, and that's a fine mentality and stuff. Now, on the other hand, let me prephase that. If she's working with welders and things like that, well, then she's probably better off. If she's working with stuff that draws a lot of power, then yeah, uh, more voltage, um, thinner wires, more power. You that's fine. But if you're the average person, let me see, where did I put all those things? Oh, they're down here. If you are the average person in the shop, then don't tell me that. Don't tell me you need all that power, because it just, I'm sorry, it's not realistic. Let's see here. That goes to that, and we cut this. That goes to this, and we cut this. This goes to this, and we cut this. And let's connect our glue gun. Yeah, agreed. I have no idea why she'd need 3-phase power for CNCs. Yeah, your spindle's 220, but the machine runs on 120, and that's my case as well. My case is the spindle. There we go. My spindle's 220 for the VFD, and the machine runs on 110. I don't need any more than that, and I mean they've got some heavy duty 4x8 and 12x5 machines that run on 110. You don't need anything more than that. I mean, what are you making out there? What are you? It's just it's overkill. It's overkill. It's a status symbol, is what it is. And I've never believed in status symbols. I don't like. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I did believe in them when I was younger. I grew up. So I can't say I never believed in them. Got to be honest. Alrighty, let's see. Okay, we have our little things here. This is 12 volt out. So we shall do our red one here. We shall do our black one here. And let's see. Red is the center. Red is the center. And red is the center. Got to make sure we get the right polarity on these, because frankly, the only thing that I really don't want to mess up the polarity on are the fans. These little fans they're not very well protected. They're basically throwaways when it comes to the getting the voltages wrong, or rather the polarity wrong. There's one. The end, the end, and the end. This is the end. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Paul's running his old machine 5 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day, and you don't need three-phase. No, you don't. You don't. You know, it all goes back down to the only way. I mean, I have a mixed opinion of, have a very mixed opinion of April Wilkerson. See, I'm a fan. I was a fan for a while. I stopped being a fan, and then I got back into the fandom. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I was a fan for a while because, look, she didn't know anything. She's willing to learn. I love anybody that's willing to, put forth the effort and learn. Okay. At something they don't know and something that's completely alien to them. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. When I stopped being a fan for a little while, I got to be honest with you. It's like, if you're willing to learn, do your research and do it the right way. I think she was building something for her parents or something. I don't remember exactly which video it was. It was quite a while back. She was still, she's learning everything. Now, one of the things I loved, okay, I'll say what I love first about her. She did this post thing where she dressed up a bunch of posts with wood in the old place where she lived and stuff. And I thought that was fantastic, and all the stuff. She was very creative and all. But then she went and poured some. She did some sort of a steel building or something. And here's what really got me. She used bicycle J hooks, bicycle hangers. Maybe because she just had them. Maybe, I don't know, as J bolts. It's like, and I guess it insulted me because I've been in construction my entire life, and you don't, it's like somebody putting an outdoor electrical outlet and wiring it up backwards, or not making it GFCI. There's certain things that are just learn, and do it the right way, because the wrong way could be dangerous. Now in Miami, it's all about uplift and stuff, so that'll just fly away. Obviously, it may not be that way in her neck of the woods, and everybody's different. But that particular episode, I like the fact that she's sharing. I like the fact that she's hopefully teaching other people. I don't like when anyone teaches somebody the wrong way of doing things. And that's what hit me about that particular episode, and maybe a couple of others that she did. It's dangerous when you have somebody that's particularly popular, but that's teaching and not knowing the right thing. I mean, I hear all the time, and that's fine. When, hey, look, I'm not an expert at this. If you want an expert, go talk to your local building officials. Go talk to your inspector. When you're doing construction, I hear that all the time, and that's the perfect disclaimer. That's wonderful. But when you're learning something and you make such a blatant, I don't know, it really hit me. And then, later I saw when she was building the thing, the new shop, that big wooden building she was building, that monster shop. Now that was fantastic. She had gotten help. They were doing it the right way. She'd gotten help from experts. Yeah, she was doing the work. Possibly a little of the work, possibly the bulk of the work, didn't matter. The video was properly done, and it was, so I admire her for that. It's just, for a little while there, I wasn't a fan. But and the argument, and I've had friends in the woodworking community that would argue, oh, she's just popular because she's a girl, and some say, no, it doesn't. Look, I'm not going to get into that argument because I really don't care whether she's a girl or a guy or popular or how she got her popularity. There is no way anybody could tell me that a certain person got a certain popularity because of a certain reason, because this is YouTube, my friends. And I follow some people who by all rights should be, you know, in 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 the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers, and they've got maybe 20 subscribers or 100 subscribers. And likewise, I follow people who, you know, hey, I don't know how they got there, but they got thousands of hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and 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 they're total and complete idiots. Well, I don't really follow them that much. Maybe that Laguna needs 3-phase power for the vacuum table. It's possible. It's possible. Again, do the if if you do need that much power, then I mean, by all means, if she's got the resources, I have no problem with somebody who can afford it buying. Because I do it myself too. I mean, on the one hand, I could argue that, oh, it's overkill. She doesn't need it. But you know what? If you've got the money, you might as well be comfortable with the power. I mean, you could do a lot more with it. Now, my beef is, if you're not doing a lot with it, then why do you have it? It's like, it's like a person owning an entire cabinet shop and not building a cabinet. I mean, if you've got the resources, I hope you put them to good use. I don't like to see a waste of time or resources. That's what gets me. Well, let's do the next one. How's it going, Big D? Good to see you. Oh, my back's starting to hurt. Wonder if I have Advil here. Nope. And so every now and then I think, oh, I have this right here. And I go, no, I don't. That was when I had my shop in the container. This is a different shop or bench. That bottle of Advil is in the car. So I got to go in the house and get some later. But I'm having fun here. And we're chatting about 3-phase power and YouTubers and all that. I mean, I don't want to say I'm envious, but I am in a way I mean, many people are of April Wilkerson, many YouTubers are, of course, who wouldn't be, envious of Jimmy DiResta. I'm envious of her, of others, for having that much, popularity and stuff. Of course, well earned. Most of them, well earned. They go through their, I mean, a lot of it is. Yes, a lot of it is. I don't want to say luck, but being in the right place at the right time, having the right sponsors, this and that. I mean, and a lot of it, or a lot of it is a combination. Um, Jimmy DiResta is another one that I'm a very big fan of. And the reason I'm a very big fan of his in particular is because I've met him. I met him only once, shook his hand at a woodworking show. He was down to earth. He was nice. He was respectful. He didn't have a big head on his shoulders. Now, people did gravitate to him a lot. That comes with notoriety and stuff. But basically, I mean, he is He's the kind of person that I would love to hang out with, just to talk about ideas and share different ideas and just brainstorm. But I mean, a lot of that comes with a lot of that comes with uh, geography. I mean, he lives in upstate New York, and I live down in Central Florida or South Florida. It's not likely that we're going to be hanging out, you know, and doing things over the internet. He's got a million people to do things over the internet with. So, I was when I did meet him, I was a little upset that not upset. Upset's not the word. I was hoping to get a little time. There was a long line of people wanting to say hello to him. So, it was. Let me see. What am I on? Been positive. Make sure they're all positive, and this one is positive. Okay, good. There was a long line of people, so I couldn't say much more than "Hello, how you doing?" Big fan kind of thing. It's I would love to just sit down for dinner with him. Hey, my treat. I just love to sit down. Hey, Jimmy, if you're ever down in Miami, I'll take you to a nice Cuban restaurant and our local cuisine here. If you're in Central Florida, again, I got a place up there. I'll treat you to Oakwood, and we'll sit and we'll have a chat. I'd love that. Open invitation. But I mean, those are the kind of people that I'd love to talk to. There's a lot of people like that. A lot of people. Doesn't have to be popular. I mean, Stumpy Nubs. Well, Stumpy Nubs is popular, so that's a bad. But Stumpy Nubs and I have formed a fantastic. I guess you can call it a yearly relationship, because he is an extremely intelligent person. I find him extremely funny, and I love talking to him. On we used to have lunch every. I mean, we haven't. There hasn't been a wood show in a while, but when there is a wood show and we're there, I always try to make a little time and meet him for lunch, and we can talk about what's going on, how everything's going, and stuff. But he's someone I like to talk to. There's a bunch of people, a bunch of woodworkers like that I just like to have a 1-to-1 with, because just all around cool guys. You know, if you guys out there, let me see. If you guys out there find someone that you think's a pretty good duo, I mean, just call them up, make an appointment for a virtual call, and just chat with them 1-to-1, because I mean, like you said, Frankie, you could care less about the YouTube stuff. Um, and let me see. He says, I could care less about the YouTube stuff. I just want and need the tools a lot of them use just for videos. Don't depend on said tools to live. Well, yeah, yeah. I hear what you're saying. Uh, on the other hand, I mean, um, I'm sure you agree with this, but it's all about the archer is it's what was it that I heard what's his face say, Chris Cute say one time, is it's not about the bow or the arrow, it's about the archer. And that's the truth. I mean, I see a lot of people saying, and I know you're not saying this, but I hear a lot of people say, oh, if I had their tools, I could do this. If I had their tools, I could do this. What's stopping you from doing it without their tools? If you could do that, truly, you could do it without their tools. I mean, there's nothing. There's always substitutes. But yeah, I hear you. If you got to live on it, if you got to live off it, that's also a tough situation. Let's see here. Because honestly, while some people in the world, like our beloved president, while some people in the world have inherited money, first of all, it takes a lot to keep inherited money. So a lot of people complain about Trump. Oh yeah, he inherited all the money. Yeah, I have seen many people who have inherited money lose it within a decade. So don't tell me it's all about inherited money. You also got to know how to keep it. But that being said, um, most woodworkers, certainly Jimmy, certainly April, they are definitely not the type that inherited these things. It wasn't given to them on a lot of these YouTubers. It wasn't given to them on a silver platter. They had some luck along the way, but I've known a lot of people, and I'm not going to mention names, but I know a couple of people that I talk to on a regular basis who have had the potential to be fantastic YouTubers. They started with these guys in the same time period, and they fell short. They fell short. They didn't dedicate the time, the resources, and stuff. And I'm not talking YouTube because YouTube sucks the life out of you. It's not. YouTube is only an ends to a means to an end. YouTube is a way to get sponsorships. YouTube is a way to get. I mean, there's a lot of different things. April, for all the things that I would criticize one way or the other, she has been phenomenal in securing sponsorships and capitalizing on those sponsorships. You couldn't have all those tools without that. I mean, you could, but she's gotten that many more with them. Is what I'm saying. So, I mean, uh, anybody could argue that people have had, they have this or they have that. I have always been of the mindset you have what you fight for, or let me rephrase that. You have. Oh, hang on. Just realized I didn't. No, it wasn't this one. It was this one. I haven't put these together yet. I mean, glued these. That's what I'm trying to say is, while this is not the case for everybody, for most people, what you put in gets you what. I mean, you get what you put in. And if you don't, there's two things you can do. You can cry about it and continue not getting what you put in, or you can double your efforts and then double them again and then double it. It's the old optimist pessimist thing. Are you an optimist or are you a pessimist? Pessimists get what they want. Always. Optimists don't. I'm sure you agree with that, but I just rambling here. Hey, Todd. There's another person. There's another person, Mr. Todd. I'll give an example of one person who has. See, a lot of times I have wanted to lose weight. All right. I have not wanted it serious enough to put an effort in. Clear. I'm not going to make excuses as, oh, no, every time I try to lose weight, I gain. Oh, it's my body, it's my background. No, that's a complete load of BS. I have known many people. Todd is a great example. TLF. Good to see you, Todd. Todd is a great example of someone who puts the effort in, the true effort required to do something. I don't care whether it's building a business, losing weight, getting a good relationship. I don't care what, being a good parent. You put the effort in, truly. For a second there, I lost my internet connection. Let's see here. Let's see. I do agree the tools would save me countless hours. Yeah, no, I agree with that, Frankie. I agree wholeheartedly. If you if you have the experience, and I know you do in CNC, and you have better tools at your disposal, yeah, absolutely. Um, only thing I could say to that, and I can't argue with that. The only thing I could say is, um, I mean, like what I did with business is you leverage. Is you start off with small profits, you reinvest them, and so in business you do that. Well, same thing with the tools. You make a bunch of dog bowls or something very simple, or and then take all the money from that. Of course, it's very difficult if that's your livelihood, and you got to spend every dime on paying the rent and everything. So I completely understand. April's worked hard to get where she is. I know several people were coming through the ranks as she was, and do speak nicely of her back then. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I mean, except for those one or two videos where I disagree and everybody disagrees, I have nothing but utmost respect in April. She has, in my opinion, she has earned her status as a YouTuber, more than earned it, because she has put the time in. And you don't always see that because we only see a little snapshot. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, for those of you that are not on YouTube, other than, watching, you know, I talk a lot about my life, but you guys only see a snapshot, a tiny, tiny, tiny little snapshot. I rarely talk about my relationship with my wife, which basically takes up 60 to 70% of my life. I don't talk about my relationship with the kids, and the same is true of that. Because I keep those things to myself. That's my own private life. I certainly don't talk about any of my businesses in depth, other than the casual things, and that is a huge portion. So you guys, what you're seeing is, I'm not saying you're seeing what I want you to see, but that's part of it. Same thing with just about any YouTuber out there. I mean, this isn't, well, even reality television, even is not reality television. You know this. I mean, most of you are intelligent enough in this community to realize that. But yeah, she is definitely she's earned her she's earned my respect. But she's definitely earned her place in the upper echelons of the YouTube woodworking community. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, uh, I was going to say, I'm arrogant enough to say, hey, I'd be there too. Yeah, well, if I, just like I would be thin, if I put the effort that Todd put into his weight loss, because he looks incredible, and he's lost an incredible amount of weight, and um uh, and if I put that much effort, I'd lose weight. But I didn't. If I put that much effort into my YouTube, I'd be that popular, possibly, but I didn't. And that's the point. They put the effort. I put that much effort into my family. I put that much effort into my businesses. I'm extremely successful in both, and I'm very, very happy and proud of that. Nobody's going to take that away from me. You know, I put a modicum of effort into my hobby boxes. Well, it's been a year, and it's 11 months, and I've sold 160 of them. That's not bad. That's not bad considering each one takes me a considerable amount of time to make. So, I mean, the CNC controllers, and it's not a big money maker. I'm not in any way selling them for like the $1,500 that Avid sells theirs for, and it's basically all the same parts inside except for the fancy case. And there's not a lot of people to sell them to. It's not like Coca-Cola where everybody needs a soda. It's basically a very, 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 very small select few people who build their own CNCs and need a CNC controller. So anyway, yeah, that's fantastic, Todd. I love to hear it. I mean, you definitely. It's like he's a fantastic guy. See, this is the thing, and then another thing I love about Todd is that he was a great guy before, and he's a great guy after. Because I got to tell you, there are people out there. I mean, yeah, we're older and we're guys, so it's less likely that it'll be us. But I've known women who in my youth who go on a diet, and they were the nicest fat person, and then they become this big stuck up arrogant super sexy girl, and see you later. It's like, just because you're a guy doesn't mean it can't happen too. But I mean, obviously that pertains more to the young and single than the old and family guys. But still, I've seen a couple of guys go on. I've seen in my lifetime. I've seen not too many, because most of the people I hang out with are happily married for a long time. But there have been a few. There have been a few folks, guy friends in the past who have. Back in my 30s, who have gone through their midlife crisis, and all of a sudden, I know one in particular. He went through his midlife crisis. All of a sudden, he decided to lose. He only needed to lose 20 or 30 pounds, but he lost 20 or 30 pounds. He started getting buff and all this. Left his wife and family. Bought a nice car. Left his wife. A true midlife crisis, stereotypical, and he's happy now with his second family. Okay, fine. That's not my lifestyle. I don't respect that at all, but it is what it is. I don't forsake anybody just because they're, not just because they're don't follow my ideals. I mean, that's wrong, but I'll tell you, that's not for me. Okay, now let us do some soldering. Yay! We're going to put some connectors on because it's about that time. Okay, I can unplug this. Don't do this at home, kids. Do not pull the cord by the... Don't pull the cord out by the cord. All right. All right. Put that back. Oh, joy of joys. Let's see. Where is my tiny little... There it is. Where's... Where? It's always where. So yeah, I'm just gonna tin these things because that's the wonderful next step. And normally I'd like tin like 20 of them at the same time, but I tend to lose the screws that way, so let me not do that. Okay. And I'm going to put the finished ones over there. Okay. Yeah, Paul, I definitely admire her for what she's built from the ground up and being honest about it, her skill level. Yeah, it's also nice to watch her grow as a person. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I agree wholeheartedly. You know, I've heard a lot of things on either. I mean, I have met a lot of woodworkers who know her and who have met her, and some have fantastic things to say about her. Some have horrible things to say about her. And as always, folks, I don't listen. I make up my own mind. I don't. I've heard things like, "Oh, she's um, don't ever accuse her of of getting ahead because she's a woman. She finds that demeaning. Of course, she would find that demeaning. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? You know. You know. She doesn't need any help from anybody. You know. Have some pride in yourself, folks. I mean, and so I have a lot of respect for where she is and how she's gotten there. And with that exception I spoke of earlier, is definitely always worth watching. This is going a lot faster than I thought when I do it this way. Yeah, I'm opening them up, I'm tinning them, and then I close them back up. I know it's kind of working twice because I'm gonna have to open them up again to solder them. But you know what? I'm sorry. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna lose these screws, and I tend to lose them whenever I don't do it this way. See, right now I could just solder the thing, seal it back up, and when I'm ready, then I'll open it. But until then, but I will if all things being equal, I will probably reach because I mean I got monetized recently and it's growing steadily. I'm in it for the long haul. But if all things being equal, I think that I will be in a good position after I build a house because right now YouTube is not my priority, but a year and a half from now, when I'm building stuff, it will be. It it will be more of a priority than it is now. I'll say that much. Build and sell 2 dining room table sets a week with grand worth of tools. Some better tools and some other machinists would make one person in the shop run a lot better and more productive. But it's a new year. It is a new year. It is a new year. Yeah, funny enough, speaking of big YouTubers, I saw Jimmy did the rest. I was watching This Old House, and I saw the episode, one of the episodes where he went to go visit him in his shop, and he was doing the table with the wood cookies in it. I've also watched I've watched Jimmy on the show with Nick Offerman and Amy Poehler, and I will say I am big and I'm not big on that show. I'm big on that show because I like Jimmy and I like Nick Offerman and I follow them. I like Amy Poehler too, um, but I'm not big on the show because it's a craft show. I'd prefer a woodworking show instead of a craft show where everything is artsy fartsy. I mean, obviously, there's with woodworking you have artsy fartsy too, but that's where the real money is, as we all know. But I would have preferred a more of a New Yankee Workshop type show or something like that. I miss New Yankee Workshop. I do and I don't. I mean, I do because I do because Norm Abrams is fantastic, but I don't because there are a lot of YouTubers out there who basically take it upon themselves. It's just not always easy to find. Got to keep searching. I like April. Been following her since she was in. Yep, since he was in her garage was, so she wasn't saying anything. I wrote about her. There are other few guys I was thinking about. So wasn't saying it. Oh no, I know you weren't saying anything about that. I didn't mean to imply that. Um, yeah, yeah, but yeah, I've talked to some people in private who were turned off by her. But I got to be honest with you, those people that I talked to, they were the type of guys that um, let's just say male chauvinistic type, really macho. They'd probably turn most women off. Timing has a lot to do with it, not just skill, but I mean that in life, that's what happens. Timing had a lot to do with a couple of my successes, and timing has a lot to do with. I'll give you an example. If I were to have had success 5 or 6 years earlier and have the money and the time that I expect to have after I finish building the house now, about 4 or 5 years ago, I would have probably been more immersed in the YouTube woodworking community than I am. There's a lot of people who know each other from those times. I just missed out. I just missed out. I mean, I know a lot of people and I've gotten to know a lot of people, but I just missed out on the popular crowd, you know. But so timing is everything. Not that I want to be a part of the popular crowd, but one thing you got to realize, you may not want to be part of the popular crowd, but the popular crowd is also the crowd that's making money. So there is something to be said for there's a lot of people that I've seen in my life who have said, "Oh no, I don't want to go with the crowd. I want to go on my own." And then they stay um they stay living in obscurity. I'm talking YouTube, I'm talking even in business. Not wanting to what they call sacrifice their principles. I'm not saying to sacrifice principles, but playing to the popular crowd, well, that's that's called socializing. That's called salesmanship. So there's another word for it. And you have to look at it that way if you're an entrepreneur. I'm sure, Frankie, you don't build I'm sure you make a lot more money selling popular styles of dining room tables or whatever you build, as opposed to something that you think is really nice looking. You know, I mean, because there's the difference between an artist and a businessman. Yeah, you can be an artist, but most artists are starving. The ones that are not starving are not because they're exceptional artists. They're because they're exceptional salespeople. I've been around the art world, and I know this to be a fact. Most artists are they go for what's popular or what's in fad or what's in that's the whole thing about artistry. Or what's extremely different, which is a rarity, But anyway, the bottom line is it's all about sales, my friends. And sales is popularity if you're looking for the money. Oh, or a way to live easier. Yeah. Let's see. It's amazing how many YouTubers worked together and supported each other while they grew the channel. Absolutely. 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 And that's what I was getting at earlier, Todd. I would have loved to be in that Nick Ferry, April Wilkerson, even Jimmy DiResta, Matthew Cremona crowd. If I would have been there at that time doing the initial things that I did, those funny shows that I did, because I stopped for a while because, well, the project with my house came up. So, but if I continued putting a regular effort, and there are those, and you kind of know who I'm talking about. There are a couple people who were in that part of that crowd, but just stopped putting an effort, and as a result, they've got good channels, but they're mediocre and not growing. Whereas the others are, it has a lot to do with it. That if I would have started YouTube gung ho in 2008, oh, I'd be. Let's put it this way: I probably wouldn't have the 2 or 3 businesses that I have. Well, I'd have one of them because I started that before, but I probably wouldn't have 2 of the businesses that I have, and I'd be making probably a lot more money. Odds are. I mean, because you put the effort in, and I'd be having a lot more fun. Well, that's not a certainty either, because remember, the more you do business, the less fun it is. Ooh, this one looks stuck. There we go. The more something's a business, the less fun it is. Yeah, folks have always wanted the same style 90% of the time. Yeah, and that's how it is. That's exactly how it is. They want, You try to design them something new and fancy, and that's not what I want. I don't want a Cybertruck. I want a Ford 250. You know, and well, I personally I kind of want the Cybertruck, but it's expensive and not available. But still, yep, yep, I hear you. Orders for a new style are just fantastic. I was a graphic artist for a while, and I've mentioned the story before, but in 1988, I was part of a very very big ad agency, and we used to do all the Miami. Basically, 80% of the Miami car dealerships, and car dealerships is a big business. Week after week after week, I mentioned this story before. We used to, in order to get the job, we would be extremely creative and create the most beautiful ad and this and that. And the account executives would go over, they'd be talking with us, the graphic artists, and say, oh, I want this and I want this and I want this. And it would just be a mesh of creativity. But the salesman knew what the customer was looking for. They knew their business, they knew their sales. Then we'd sell them the account. In order to keep the account, we have to make sure we sell cars. Yeah, they got to sell the cars, but we got to bring them in the door. And that's where the money continues to flow to the ad agency. Well, guess what? That involved the crappiest and most boring of designs. Big, thick letters, very little white. I mean, look at any car ad today. All you see is a bunch of cars listed with a bunch of numbers. New Isuzu Rodeo, 8888, runs like new, all the same stuff. Used, new, whatever. Um, and that's basically what we did the rest of the year. It was the most boring thing, but it's what sold cars. It's what people expected. It's what. Now, the advertisers, the salespeople complained, "Hey, you're not giving us these fancy ads." But we knew the minute we would give them fancy ads every week, we would lose their business because they would lose their customers. We knew what was happening. We knew exactly what was happening. Whew, that's tough to put in. So yeah, it's what is popular is not always. I mean, what is fancy is not always what is sold or what sells. Oh. Yeah, a lot of these people they do. They live their channels 24/7, and that's the thing. I made a good life for myself, Todd, as most of us have. I I will when I. Oh, hang on. I'm getting a call. Oh, why is it on? Hang on a second. Be right back. Wow, didn't realize what time it is. It's dinner time, folks. It's just about dinner time anyway. Okay, come on. I need this. I'll do a couple more of these and then I'll head back in. I got some steaks that I'm gonna cook. I'm trying to figure out how to best. Any suggestions? I've got some sirloins. And how would you guys cook them up? Hmm? Asking for opinions out there. yeah, like you said, most of them live on their channel, and I am very happy that that I've worked long enough where I have a comfortable nest egg to the point that I don't have to that I can do what I want. So to a certain degree, I will do my YouTube, but I hope it never gets to the point that I'm a slave to the YouTube. Suggestions for steaks, folks? Suggestions? Anyone? I'm just going to do the old salt and pepper, perhaps on the barbecue. Don't know. Grill. Grilling's always nice. I'll pull up a recipe if not. And I always like to try random new recipes, and then when I find a good one. Let's see here. A few times someone asked me to build something. If it's out of their price range, I find stuff online for them, but let them know if I build it. If I build it, it may be the last one they'll have to buy. Yeah, that is absolutely right, and that's good. That's excellent. Sometimes I use a cast iron pan on the outdoor grill. Cook some onions. Yeah, that's a good idea. Red wine. Ooh. Good choice, Andrew. Good choice. My wife just happens to have a bottle of red wine that they gave her. I don't drink wine, and my wife likes white wine, but red wine is fantastic for. Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. That way I get to use up some of that wine because it's, let me see, salt, pepper on the grill, and garlic and butter as well. Oh, that's another, yeah. I'll combine the whole thing, try to make a concoction. That's definitely what I'll do. Well, with that, folks, let me see. Cook the brisket with sous vide yesterday for 24 hours and smoke on the, yeah, and I don't have that much time on my hands. But I'll definitely consider it. Folks, with that, I will bid you a fondue. I'll do the rest of these a little later. I might be on later today, but I'll catch you all. Have a nice afternoon. Nice rest of your Monday afternoon, and stay safe, stay happy, and enjoy. Later. Bye, folks.